morning is certainly fine. Morning in Ponyville shimmers. Morning in Ponyville shines. And I know for absolute certain that everything will time.
Good evening, my viewers and subscribers. I am TorridPasta999, your online horror host, where you find out what escapes with its life and what gets sent straight to hell. Welcome to another episode of TorridTheorizes, the show where I unveil the deepest, darkest, and most twisted truths of things you only thought you knew. I had planned on talking about Disney's The Brave Little Toaster for Nightmare Night this year. But in light of recent events, that is a video that can wait until Christmas. For now, I have had a theory that simply cannot be ignored. A theory that explains the long, distorted, hidden truth behind the indie horror game franchise, Five Nights at Freddy's. You may have heard of many proposed explanations behind the games, how they are all meant to connect to one another. But in truth, none of them can truly satisfy your morbid curiosity. Not the way my theory can. So prepare yourselves, O feeble ones, as I relay the twisted and tragic tale of the Pizzeria franchise and its mechanical machinations. One that does not have an ending. Our story begins in 1982 at Fazbear's Diner, a quaint little road-stop restaurant with the lovable lug Fazbear himself as its mascot. A man by the name of William Afton has been trying to purchase the rights to the character, but the owners won't sell. Then, one fateful night, a lone child finds himself alone outside the diner, when a car bearing an unnamed stranger pulls up next to him. The stranger steps out of the vehicle, and the purple man has claimed his first victim. With the murder garnering the diner bad publicity, the owners have no choice but to sell the rights to Afton, who then has his business partner and chief engineer Henry, no last name given, make Fazbear into an animatronic rather than just a fursuit, as well as construct some friends for the bear to have as well. Meanwhile, Afton renames the franchise after his youngest son, Fred Afton, whom, unbeknownst to his father, has latent psychic abilities, and has Henry model one of the new leading robots, Baby, after his daughter and youngest child, while also granting his eldest son, Fox Afton, his own animatronic, Foxy the Pirate, though Fox is none too pleased by his father's generosity. And then tragedy strikes. After repeated insistence from his daughter for Afton to let her play with Baby, the robot without warning kills the little girl, forcing the interactive rental animatronics to be forever shut down. Both William and little Freddy are devastated. Freddy to the point where he has a mental breakdown and develops a second personality to cope with the trauma. This second personality takes the form of his favorite toy, whom we may know as Psychic Friend Fredbear. Fox, meanwhile, becomes more hardened and bitter, taking his frustrations out on little Freddy by terrorizing him with a foxy mask every chance he gets. This does nothing to help with Freddy's trauma, as he not only starts seeing Psychic Friend Fredbear everywhere he goes, but an illusion of his little sister one day greets him, now resembling the robot that had killed her, sending Freddy even further down the line into being a nervous wreck, leading him to fear the very animatronics, even the one named after him. Then comes little Freddy's birthday, and on that day the child sees what looks to him like a man stuffing a body into a robot suit. This causes him to freak out even more and come crying to his brother for help. But Fox has had more than his unstable mind can take from his annoying little brother, and he and his friends decide to have some fun with little Freddy by having him play with Freddy Fazbear, knowing how much the thing terrifies little Freddy. As a joke, Fox and his friends force the boy's head into the maw of the spring-lock suit and have a laugh as little Freddy cries helplessly. And then his tears trigger the unstable spring locks, causing the jaw to chomp down on little Freddy's head. Of course, his friends are immediately shocked and horrified at this, not knowing that would happen. But Fox did. For you see, he was the one who murdered that first child at Fazbear's Diner, trying to win his father's affections over Freddy by getting him the franchise he so dearly wanted. And what is more, he knew full well of the dangers of the spring-lock suits and that even little Freddy's tears would trigger them. He had full intention of killing his little brother in that act, sick and tired of his whining and stealing his father's love. Alas for him, little Freddy did not die, but rather went into a coma, never to reawaken. Though that did not stop poor William from hoping. Now, if anything, his attention was more on little Freddy than ever before, leaving Fox even more neglected and ignored. Devastated, William tried to cope with the pain by attempting to salvage what he could of his long-gone daughter from the abandoned service facility, only to be tricked by the somehow sentient machines into becoming Ennard's new body, made to believe that his daughter's soul was trapped inside the baby and that he could somehow get her out. So of course, as you all know, Afton had to die. No longer William Afton, but a Frankensteinian creation Ennard, his many wiry innards now soon throughout Afton's body. Fox was greeted with an even colder, more neglectful treatment from his father. Already at the breaking point, Fox could only be driven further into insanity, so he took a job in one of the restaurants as a security guard, then lured the child away and killed him, stuffing him into the animatronic named after the child Fox's father loved so dear. Then waiting for the body to be discovered and the entire food chain to be brought down by bad publicity. However, since Ennard was not human, he responded to the bodies by simply covering it up and letting things be. Infuriated, Fox struck again, killing more children and dooming them to the same fate, taking a rather sick appreciation for Foxy along the way. Yet again, his father did not respond in the way that he wanted. Meanwhile, sometime in the year 1987, one of Fox's friends, Fritz Smith, felt truly awful for playing a part in Freddy's accident and had gone to work as a security guard for the pizzeria as a means of possibly making up for it. Somehow he learned of what his former friend was up to and his real intentions behind little Freddy's accident, and Fritz became enraged. But rather than telling the authorities, probably for lack of evidence, he decided to tamper with some of the animatronics, specifically the one we now know as Mangle, and set a trap for Fox. For being caught tampering, he was fired, but nonetheless Fritz felt satisfied, knowing his former friend would finally get what was coming to him. Unfortunately, Mangle had instead attacked another security guard, Jeremy Fitzgerald, causing many of the newer robots to be retired and the chain to downsize. As all of this was going on, unfortunately for Fox, by crushing little Freddy's head, he'd unknowingly awakened his brother's psychic powers. And while little Freddy's body may have been unconscious, his mind was fully awake, and while broken, he still sought vengeance. One night as Fox was alone in the pizzeria, Freddy reached out to him and caused him to think that the animatronics had come to life on their own and were going to attack him. Panicking, and probably drunk, Fox hid in a safe room and one by one destroyed the robots as they passed by. But little Freddy wasn't done. Now it appeared to Fox that the ghosts of the children he had murdered had risen from the robots' remains and had come to haunt him. Terrified, he hid in the spring-lock Bonnie suit kept in the safe room, unaware of the true danger he had put himself in as the room was in poor condition, leaking and making the spring locks unstable. He finally sealed his own fate, ironically, believing that he was victorious, laughing triumphantly. And the breath of his own hubris triggered the spring locks, crushing Fox and trapping him inside the suits. The pizzeria was finally shut down after that, and the safe room boarded up. But justice had not yet been done. Not yet. Reaching out mentally to you, a fellow patient, little Freddy attempts to explain to an outside soul of the horrors that consumed his family. But alas, because his mind was still broken, the best he could show the fellow patient was the views of the security guards from various pizzerias over the years. Mike Schmidt, Jeremy Fitzgerald, and Fritz Smith. And even an unnamed guard from Fazbear's Fright, an attraction established over 30 years later. Each vision is a nightmarish interpretation of the job where the guards are terrorized by animatronics run amok in a rundown, haunted establishments. Littered throughout the various weeks are clues to what truly happened, the best little Freddy can manage in his state. And even psychic friend Fredbear, now the apparition we know as Golden Freddy, tries to point you in the right direction, though he only succeeds in setting you back. Finally, you reach the 4th week, and it's very different. For now you find yourself in little Freddy's room, forced to endure his own personal nightmare, which has haunted him since the accident, facing against nightmarish reimaginings of the classic robots. But of course, you succeed in the end, and in the process you restore little Freddy's mind, remerging him with Golden Freddy, finally allowing the nightmare to end and finding the poor soul peace. At last, he can rest. And then William Afton dies. But as I said, this tale does not yet have an end. For while the animatronics who tormented you were dream apparitions, Springtrap himself is quite real, and very much on the loose. And it's no one else's fault more than your own. For you see, you were the unnamed security guard at Fazbear's Fright. You'd heard the legends of the french fries and thought it would be cool to work at a haunted attraction. Until the hallucinations hit. Every night you are bombarded with terrifying hallucinations of haunted machines. But you just shrug it off as best you can, convincing yourself that the atmosphere of the place is simply getting to you. Perhaps a little beer and drugs as well? And then, one night, he appeared. You became terrified beyond all rationality, convinced now that the legends were true and that the Springtrap monster intended to stuff you into a suit and kill you. So you ran. But in your hastiness, in your fear, you somehow caused the establishment to catch fire and burn to the ground, setting Springtrap forever free from at least one of his prisons. You survived, but the excitement and smoke inhalation caused you to go into a coma, which allowed Frederick to eventually find you. But did Springtrap really intend to kill you? Look again. For rather than screaming into our faces as all the other machines had done, Springtrap simply sidles towards you, almost unthreateningly. Could it be, perhaps, that after all those years trapped and in pain, cut off for so long from any forms of life, that he reflected on his own life? That he considered, perhaps, that what he had done was wrong? Perhaps, after all those years of pain and isolation, he simply wanted an end to his own tortured existence. So he came to you, an innocent soul in the whole grand affair, and to the best of his ability, he begged you to kill him, to finally help him find peace. But you didn't. You ran away from him, never hearing his plea. And once again, Fox Afton was denied simple human consideration, denied the attention he truly needed, denied the love and care of another human being. And now he is free, free to roam the earth without restraints, without compassion or mercy, free to murder whomever his deadened heart desires. And for that, there is no one to blame in the end, but you. And so we leave our unfinished tale of killer machines, a psychic child, his sociopathic brother, a broken father not more machine than man, a twisted conspiracy with more questions than answers, and you, a mission to destroy the beast you resurrected and set free. Until next time, my viewers, this is TorridPasta 999, signing out and reminding you It's all just a theory. A torrid theory! Happy Nightmare Night!